I'm gonna be late!
Holland Rains here from NorseMedia. As you can tell from our previous ventures, we're all a bit nerdy around the office. But if there's one thing we don't get, it's My Little Pony. That's why we're here at Trotcon 2014 in Columbus, Ohio, a convention completely dedicated to the reinsurgence of My Little Pony. Let's check it out.
I kind of spontaneously got into it almost ironically, just because I thought it was silly, but then I went and watched the source material and figured out it's not so bad.
My agent told me I couldn't use my real name on My Little Pony because it would dilute all my boy credits, my action credits. So I used my pseudonym because my agent was embarrassed that I was going to be on My Little Pony.
I took to My Little Pony originally because of this idea of sort of like love and tolerance and like I'm a hippie. That's shit that I actually like believe in. And here's this cool eye candy cartoon that's really well done, really well written, really well acted, that actually kind of stands up for those values.
While we're familiar with the type of crowd these conventions bring, we still don't understand the brony subculture from the inside out. Let's go inside and talk to the bronies themselves to figure it all out.
Well, first off, a brony is a fan of the popular My Little Pony series. Now, that could be any series, Generation 1, 2, 3, or even the modern day 2010 equivalent, including Friendship is Magic. And a brony it's just more than a 5-letter word. Yeah, 5-letter word. Okay. A brony is a culture. It's a way of life for many people here at this convention. It's about promoting one thing, acceptance and friendship. And let's face it, in this world, that's very difficult to find nowadays. So it's great to know that there are conventions like Trotcon here in Columbus that offer events, costume contests, panels on different topics in the fandom. And that's what makes this fandom so incredible. People coming together to celebrate what makes this program and its lessons about kindness, acceptance, hard work, friendship, all worthwhile.
Nowadays, I would use it to describe pretty much any My Little Pony fan. A lot of people use it for just guys, but there's Pegasisters, but I consider brony can be male or female pony fan. And I think the reason that people are kind of scared of bronies is, it's just weird to them that guys like something girly, which I think is stupid because, growing up, I was always into like Ninja Turtles and Transformers and He-Man, and no one ever looked down on that. So to me, it's totally normal for like a guy to like girl stuff. So I think that people should just, let each other do their own thing.
For me, I think there's a lot to do with, I think post-internet age, there's a lot of this in subcultures where like kind of branding, so I was on tour with the Grateful Dead in like the mid-90s. You see a Steal Your Face sticker on a car and it's like, oh, that guy's a Deadhead, cool, I can go talk to him. And the My Little Pony thing's very much the same, maybe with a little more like almost shame to it. Like, it's kind of a big deal to put a My Little Pony sticker on your car if you're a 30-year-old dude or whatever. But when I see that, I know I can go talk to that guy. At least got something in common and kind of maybe we can hit it off and let's go have a beer or go play cards or whatever.
Well, I've been a fan of many cartoon shows still on TV today. The bronies insist that My Little Pony brings something especially unique to animated television.
Well, I was actually talking to some of the people who are behind the series, and what I think this show does, it doesn't water it down. It's not like your Dora the Explorer. Do you know where this is? And you go, it's there! Point to it! No, this doesn't water down for little kids. Adults can enjoy this show very easily. They've got elements of Samuel Beckett, theater of the absurd. You've got slapstick, great music, storylines. There are even some adult situations that, are appropriate for kids. It's kid friendly. But I think what makes the show so appealing, and this is just me, because I just stumbled into this a couple years ago myself. I'm still trying to figure out my way in this crazy brony fandom.
And the main characters go through all these real world issues that normal people would find on a daily basis, like having trouble with your friends, or like coping with maybe telling a lie, or, being in trouble and kind of overcoming that fear of, oh my God, I'm messing up, or how do I, get out of this situation by myself? It's like, you don't have to. You have friends. You have people who you can actually rely on, and they give you all these different solutions. It's not that it's a girl show. It's not that it's a show about ponies. It could have been a show about, megabots on the moon, and if it had the same values and meanings, I think we would still be here.
We even got to talk to M.A. Larson, the writer for the first 3 seasons, and ask what he thought made the show different.
It's the writing. The writing is incredible.
But seriously, Mitch, what makes this show stand out?
There's so much animation, especially for kids, that's so cynical, postmodern, snarky. Then you watch this show, and it's just not afraid to be genuine and nice. And I think people hunger for that, like in society in general, just to be nice to each other. That's what the show is, and that's what these conventions are. So if the show was canceled today, I think these conventions would still go on. So
I'm sitting in a Starbucks and I'm watching My Little Pony to get a picture, to get some sort of context for what I'm looking at. And I get picked on. This guy walks up behind me. He's like, "What are you watching?" I'm like, "What's My Little Pony?" He says, "That's stupid. Why are you watching that?" I said, "Well, hold on. It's all right. It's got good animation. It's got, it's well done. It's not stupid. It's good." He's like, "Whatever." And so I watched the whole rest of it at Starbucks the next week. Finished the whole first season. Start going to conventions a year later.
It's a really important social skill that we're never taught at any point. They don't go over social skills in high school, and now we're seeing all this stuff with autism and Asperger's and kids these days having social problems. I think it really does kind of build to those fundamental, real human aspects of, society that we all need to be a part of, and we don't get taught so much anymore. I'm just excited to see like another intelligently written show with a positive message out there. Makes me pretty happy.
And even though a lot of the subject matter might be lighthearted, some diehard fans have encountered serious setbacks due to their dedication to the show.
People see these guys as, creepy, live in their parents' basement kind of people, but that's not true. These people, the bronies, are just some of the greatest people that you could hope to meet.
I live in the Brony House, which is in Ohio. We assist people that are lovers of the show, non-traditional adult males that have either been abused or gotten kicked out of their homes because of the fact that they like the show. And we welcome them into the home, and we help them out, help them get on their feet and whatnot. And so it became my family. I moved in, and one of the curators, Nurse Tenderheart, is one of the people that helped create the Brony House. And he, between him and my friend, we've just it's been a positive experience. Whenever we go to a con, just having all of our friends around, enjoying promoting the artists and getting to just hang out with friends in new states.
For a lot of people, there is a real brotherhood that I see in these people. It's like they have this love in their life that isn't really well accepted in society, in the outside world, but they all love it, and they find each other here. And this is a place where bronies and Pegasisters can just relax and let go and just feel the love of the other bronies and Pegasisters, and that's what I admire the most. And until society is ready to accept that grown men and women are able to get into what is supposed to be a child's cartoon, well, then this is the place where they're all going to find each other. And someday people will realize that this is a good force in their lives. And I don't know if that day will ever come, but in the meantime, these conventions are perfect for people like this.
There's a lot of this sort of negative connotation for adult male My Little Pony fans. I think it's kind of funny because I get a break because I have a daughter somehow. Like, oh, well, he's got a 5-year-old little girl, so it's cool. Even though, I'm way more of a fan of the show than she really is. I think there's sort of an interesting dichotomy between that of somehow I get off the hook because I have like a kid. When, we all watch like Adventure Time, and when I was a kid it was Beavis and Butthead. Like there's this sort of history of like cool, off the wall, corny, smart animation that I'm into.
And some adults have gotten so into the show that they've applied the professional skill set to their favorite hobby.
I'm here with my network, Ponyville Live. We're a media organization in the pony community that gathers a whole bunch of different radio shows, radio stations, and video streams together into one organization. It's a little bit of a labor of love, really. I mean, it kind of comes from my day job. My day job is in IT, and I do a little bit of AV work on the side in my day job. But just in my free time, I figured I would use the skill set I already had to sort of apply it to the community that I liked. I mean, I like the show, and I like the community and the friends I've made here. So it's just kind of a combination of the two, really. And that's a lot of our network. We have about 200 people in our organization, and we're all a lot like that. We just take our day-to-day life skills and we just apply them here just as a fun hobby. It's not a business, we're definitely not making any money off of it. Quite the opposite, really. It costs us a fortune to get to these things, but we do it just because, something fun to do.
They do charity work. They donate blood. They do all kinds of great non-profit work for different charity groups. They donate to hospitals, to blood centers. They donate money to build playgrounds for children who really need somewhere to play and have exercise.
And while many shows and subcultures have had their time and gone to the wayside, the bronies are sure that this is no temporary trend.
Well, I feel like bronies will be around for a long time. I mean, I feel like stuff never really goes away. I mean, there's Star Trek went away for years, but there was still Trekkies everywhere. So I think there will always be bronies.
That's it. I think it started ironically. People were surprised that they actually liked it, and then it just took on a life of its own, and it became what the show is about, leached into the real world, and now it really does have. If the show was canceled today, I think these conventions would still go on. So,
I think it will continue. I pray it continues for a very long time and stays the same quality that we've come to know with it, that made it the pop culture icon it is today. Now, will there be a time when we have to say goodbye? Yes, but I'm praying, fingers crossed, to Celestia, that's not for a good long time.
Well, after today, I understand My Little Pony a tad bit better. I probably won't be watching the show anytime soon. But with that being said, I can see how this show has bonded people of vast age groups together, and that is something you could never look at in a negative light. Until next time, I'm Holland Reigns with NorseMedia.